Ladies and gentlemen, it's Guitaro 5000 here with a vlog answering the question from a YouTube subscriber. His name is Get You Together, and he asked a very important question. He says, do you have any side jobs? What do you do to survive as a musician? Can you please make a video on how to survive as a musician? Well, I don't know if I can write the handbook, Mr. Get You Together, but I can definitely tell you my story, and it's very interesting. And one thing I can say is I have not done anything other than music as a career and as a way to make money for the last 8 years. So since 2010, really nothing else other than playing music. And the way that this has happened, very interesting story. Last job I had was in 2010, and I think 2009 actually. I was a server at Red Lobster. And you know, anyone who knows me knows that when I do something, I want to be the best at it. I was aspiring to be the best server ever. And I realized that I was a strong guy, so I was able to carry lots of plates at once. Only problem is I was not so good at putting those plates down all the time. Last incident I remember, I had 4 Ultimate Feasts in one hand. The Ultimate Feast is the biggest dish at Red Lobster. By the way, Red Lobster is like a fast food chain. Not like fast food. It's like a seafood restaurant chain in the US. I had 4 Ultimate Feasts in one hand, and I was bringing it to a table where one guy who didn't even order them was wearing all white. And by the time I got them down on this table, he was wearing all kinds of colors. So thankfully, yeah, basically just to be clear, I dropped all the plates on top of him. So thankfully, the management at Red Lobster did pay for his dry cleaning. And I apologized to the management. I said, hey, you know, sorry I made you waste money on dry cleaning. You know, I really don't want you to waste any money here. And they said, no problem. We will not waste any more money because you're fired. Long story short, that's basically what happened. So I was off to fend for myself. I had no other kind of income and no really like marketable skills. Like I knew how to draw. I was really good at that. I remember selling some art on eBay when I was like in my teens. And I also could like program computers, but I used like outdated technology, so I had to relearn how to program if I wanted to be good at it, you know. But I also knew how to play guitar, and I wasn't that good. Like I could play some songs, people like to hear me play, but I couldn't like perform. But someone told me, hey, why don't you go to New York City, take a train to New York City, the train comes right here, and start playing your music right in the subway and see what happens. So I'm like, okay. I had some money left. I bought a battery-powered amp, and I took my guitar to New York City. And that's when I realized that I really couldn't perform. Like I didn't know how to get through the entire song of any song, and it just didn't sound very good. And I probably knew like half of maybe 3 or 4 songs at that time. And like it was like La Bamba and like half of My Girl and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, it wasn't going too well in the beginning, but I just kept coming back, kept working on it. And I remember the first day I came home with $30. No, it's like $25. Yeah, it was like $25. And I was like, yes, I made $25, yes! I was out there all day, and I made 25 bucks. And I was happy to make that money. So then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna keep working on this. I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna be the best selfie performer ever. So I'm learning songs all the time, practicing songs all the time. And my list of songs grew from like 3 songs to 10 songs to 20 songs to 40 songs. And it's just based on what people liked. If I tried a song and no one was paying me for it, then maybe, okay, maybe I won't play this one. I'll try another one. And everything changed in 2014 when I finally had a list of like 50 songs, and someone that I knew, I think he knew I could play that many songs. He's like, I have this bar, can you play at this bar every Thursday? So I'm like, okay, great. This bar is called Charlie's Corner in Secaucus, New Jersey. And he was hired for that gig originally, but he said, I can't do it, can you do it? So I'm like, okay, I'll do it. And then that's when I realized how much work I gotta do on my performance, because even the 50 songs that I could do, not all of them people really like that much, and not all of them I could play that well. Like when you have a mic in front of your face and you know the sound is loud, you can really hear all the mistakes and everything that needs to be fixed. But I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna work on this. And so every week I'm coming back to the same bar, and they're asking me to play certain songs. They ask me to learn certain songs, and I'm like, okay, I'll learn it. So I go home and I learn it, and I go back and I have it ready. So and my list of songs just kept growing and growing and growing and growing. And And in, I think late 2014, someone recommended me to this agent who has access to a lot of bars. And he says, you know what, you'd be really good to talk to this guy because he can really get you set up and really get you playing a lot more and making money. So I'm like, okay, that sounds good. Like, it's definitely better than having to do only performing in the subway all the time. Like being in a bar or being in a place where you're guaranteed a certain amount of money instead of like wishing or hoping people pay you. It's like a big difference, like being guaranteed money. So I was like, okay, great. So I meet this guy. His name is Sammy. And he is the guy that really put me on the map. He booked me in so many different bars in New Jersey. And I was playing like, eventually I was playing like 4 or 5 a week. And it was insane. It didn't start out that way. Maybe it was like 1 a week, maybe 2 a week or something like that. But I found one way to make my show really engaging, and it got me into a lot of places. It got me really great reviews. The way that I did it was, instead of just like showing up and having my own set list, I came up with this thing I call it a music menu. And it basically has all the songs that I know how to play well. And I pass these out at the beginning of the show. Sometimes maybe they're like the second set, and people just look at the list and pick some songs. Like there's like now okay, I would say in 2015 I had maybe 100 or maybe 150 songs. Now it's like at least 300. No, I would say 2015 I had like maybe 100. Yeah. So now it's at least 300 songs, all different genres: pop, rock, hip hop, reggae, some jazz, some rap, some like disco, alternative rock, everything, like basically anything you can think of. Like, and so eventually I had enough songs where it doesn't matter what bar I go into, there's got to be people who know these songs because these are time tested. I played them so many times, and I was able to just grab any crowd just based off of this. And then eventually I started playing like 4 or 5 bars a week. And there are many other things I did musically to make money, because I enjoy doing them and they happen to make money. But that was the most lucrative thing that I've ever done with music, which is have a show where I could go into any bar or any like venue and just play songs that people know. So now I'm really, really, really switching it up. I kind of got tired of doing the whole bar scene, and I decided to just, well, a lot has changed since my first cruise ship gig. If you've been following me for a long time, you know I did Carnival Cruise Line in 2016, and I did a 4-month contract on a cruise ship doing the same thing, just playing songs people like inside the cruise ship every night. And that's when my list really, really grew, because imagine playing to the same people for 4 or 5 nights in a row. People who have heard your whole set list and they come back the next day and it's like, well, you're playing the same songs? Like, no, you can't do that. You got to keep adding more and more and more songs. So yeah, after that has happened, after I did my first cruise ship gig, that's when I really started setting my sights on traveling. Because in order for me to do that bar circuit in New Jersey, I had to just be like in the same place all the time and going back to the same places and be in the same area. But this year things have changed a lot. Like right now I'm in Dallas, Texas, before that, I think earlier this year, I was in Germany and I was doing some like concerts and stuff out there. I did some busking out there. But before that, I decided that I was gonna see 30 countries in 1 year. So it's gonna be a combination of doing those bar shows, combination of doing some shows where I play my own music, where I invite people out, like actual concerts, and a combination of that and also busking. So this one was set up. This one was not set up where I was like scheduled to play, but I came here and there was a stage, and I happened to have my gear on me. I did a show last night in Dallas, and today I didn't have anything booked, so I just said, hey, can I play on the stage? And they said, okay. By the way, YouTube has opened up a lot of doors for me, because, and what reminds me of that was the fact that when I asked, can I play on the stage, they said, okay, do you have a YouTube? I'm like, yeah. So she looks me up on YouTube, and she didn't really hear much, but she just saw all these videos and all these views, and then she's like, okay, get on stage. Like, okay, great. So I got on stage, and by the way, I have this like really awesome PA system right here. It's called the JBL Eon 1 Pro. It's completely battery powered, has a sub and a top connected like that, and boom, full-fledged PA. And so I just played here for like an hour and a half or something like that, and people tipped me. Like, they just started throwing me money. So that's one thing I could always do. Like, I can always just like find a spot where people are hanging out and just play, and they can just pay me for that. So, and also as far as YouTube goes, like the earnings from YouTube are really not that much. It could change a lot. I just got this new phone, and I've decided to start vlogging as often as possible, especially for the month of September. And yeah, the phone looks pretty good. So I don't know, I might make some money from YouTube, but either way, I'm just doing it for you, really. I want you to request songs and to ask questions, and let's just hang out here. So I don't really do this really for money, but it does open up doors to make money though. So that's pretty cool. And lastly, I've done a lot of, not a whole lot, but I've done some studio sessions. I work with musicians who want to write music and record. I've done some studio sessions. I don't do a whole lot of that. So I would say 98% of my income has come from performing. 100% has come from music, but 98% has come from performing. As a matter of fact, I've done so many performances. I've done at least 1,000 gigs, and I've had so much experience performing with that. I decided to start being a performance coach, which I've done sessions with multiple people. I've done one-on-one sessions, and it's all really centered around how to have a deep connection with your audience, and how to engage them, how to get them crazy, how to get them like happy, how to get them like basically how to control your audience, how to make them feel what you're communicating. And so I charge for that, but that's still a small percentage of what I made. I've made way more money performing, and I like performing more. Even though I do like coaching, I think I like coaching a lot, and I don't think I have not seen many coaches at all do what I do. And even the coaches even though there are like vocal coaches and stuff like that, like I would say very few of them have as much experience performing as I do, and have the eye that I do to be able to spot what makes a great performance. So I'm just keeping it real. Other than that, really, that's been my journey as a person making music. I better get this list before it blows away in the wind. Yeah, so if you have any more questions, just ask me, let me know. I'll gladly answer them. And this is my vlog for today. See you next time. Boom. Caper life.